Do you have any idea how the VA is recruiting qualified veterans for the study?
The veteran participants, sir, the folks that are
Correct.
actually, yes, sir, they're recruited through each of the 3 medical centers, through flyers and presentations to mental health clinicians.
Okay. Is there currently a waiting list of qualified veterans who would like to participate?
There is a waiting list at one of our sites, the Portland, Oregon site, because we've had particular problems in recruiting qualified dog trainers for that site. However, we now have one trainer that is working now.
How large is the waiting list?
I cannot say for sure. I would say it's probably in the range of maybe 20 people, perhaps.
And this is at one facility or?
One facility, yes, sir.
Okay. So are you saying that the personnel at VA medical centers are aware of this study and are actively engaged in informing veterans of the potential of having a service dog?
Yes, I would definitely say that. It's a very popular topic of interest with our veterans.
Does the VA currently have any way to gauge the demand for the service dogs?
We do not, sir. We do not have a method of gauging demand for service dogs.
Is that under consideration?
That would be outside of my purview, sir. I couldn't say.
Mr. Diamond, let me come to you. How are qualified veterans referred to your organization?
We've never advertised for a veteran to come to our organization. They find us through word of mouth, through the very tight veteran community. But when the veteran applies to us, we have a 22-page application. We do interviews, criminal background checks. We do a thorough vetting process. So by the time the veteran comes to our campus, perhaps a year after they applied, we know a bevy about them and are ready to bring them into our program.
So you don't do any advertising per se, it's all word of mouth?
Absolutely. If we advertise, we would get inundated. We're pushing a 2-year wait list now.
All right, that's my point. That's where I was going. So the VA doesn't seem to have a whole lot of information here. Of course, it's not been their program, but you are actively involved in providing service dogs to veterans, and you have a 2-year waiting list. How many, do you have any way of gauging what the need is?
I wish we had the good measure, and since I'm under oath, I'm not going to venture a guess, but I do know this for sure, that the number of veterans that are referred to us from the VA because a VA treating physician says, I don't have anything else that can help you, is increasing every single day.
Sure, absolutely. Mr. Lyle, let me ask you, and first of all, thank you for your service and for your testimony. Both are powerful, and we deeply and in a heartfelt way say thank you for what you have done for our country. How did you find out that service dogs were an option for PTS?
So I actually had a personal friend of mine who had a service dog that he also had to acquire on his own and train. I'm not quite sure which organization he received his dog, well, where he got his dog trained. But I knew that that was something that was an option that veterans could utilize. And then when I went out to organizations, specifically I went to organizations in Texas because that's where I'm currently living. I got pretty much the same result, that wait times were at least a year, and I didn't feel as though I had that time to wait.
Okay, so your introduction came through a personal friend.
That's correct, sir.
Okay, Mr. Diamond, let me come back to you. My time is almost up. Twofold question. Do you find that veterans struggle with affording service dogs as a general rule? And how does your organization enable them to pair up?
2 pieces to that. The first is that some of our veterans have reported back to us that they would rather make personal sacrifices than to not have to forego having a service dog. But they do struggle. They're on fixed incomes, and therefore they do have difficulty paying for it. Most of the veterans that we get could not independently pay to get a service dog out on their own. So we've made a lot of partnerships with our corporate supporters. For example, Bear Health is put together a network of veterinarians to give free health care for the dogs. We're trying to work with pet stores to get free dog food for the veterans. We do everything we can on the back end to make it free or almost free for the veteran, but the overwhelming message from them is they would forego their own personal comfort to make sure that they have a service dog.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank the gentleman.